Biden is 79. Y'all know this, right? Biden is 79. The other day, I think it was last week, his presidential powers were relinquished to Kamala, making her the first woman to have the role of president for a little. My thoughts real quick. Why the fuck is this old fuck president anyways? Why do we let old people continue to get elected? Sit on that for a second. We'll be right back. Yo, what's going on? We are back. Thank you for tuning in, y'all. It's the Leon Block. I'm John Tell, your kinfolk with the info, now streaming live from Wave Crave Radio, the hottest urban wave in the 717, playing the best hip-hop, R&B, soul, gospel, interviews, and current waves, all of it. You can catch it live anytime on all streaming services, but you can listen from anywhere in the world. And available on Facebook, Instagram, and Google Play. Just search Wave Crave, one word, Wave Crave. And we're also streaming to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter on the Leon Block platform. So make sure you follow, like, and subscribe to us, y'all. It's really appreciated. We're also on TikTok and Instagram too. We go off on Instagram, yo. For real. Come show us some love, all right? Just come show us some love. So what's going on tonight? Well, I got some block drops for you. The usual headlines, let you know what's going on around the world and in your hood. But you can always reach out to the Leon Block and let us know what's going on in your hood, because this is about you. This is about spreading the information and letting us know what's going on in your neck of the woods. It don't matter where you at or where you from. We want to know what struggles you're facing, what thoughts you might have, what problems you have going on in your relationship, because maybe we have it going on too. Just a little tidbit there. And then we're going to touch just some highlights. I'm going to give you my thoughts as usual. And today, it is midnight Eastern Standard Time where I'm at, right? And a year ago, a motherfucking year ago, yo, I embarked on this journey to start the Leon Block. So today makes it a year old. So I'm celebrating the year anniversary of the Leon Block. This is something really big, really special to me. And I couldn't be more proud of seeing people speak truth to power and having the opportunity to speak truth to power. You know what I mean? Because it really is very important. It's important for us to know that we have the power of information at our disposal as tools. You know what I mean? It's really important to have that. We're going to continue to do that. It's only 1 year. We're going to keep motherfucking going. You heard me? Thank you, Jose. That really means the world. Jose said 1 year. That's my friend. Congrats, bro. Yo, I appreciate it. I so appreciate it. You're going to make me cry, because for real, like, the Leon Block does a lot, and it seeks to really cover a lot. Anything from world events, social justice, civil rights, human rights. We support and amplify Black and brown businesses. We highlight self-sustainable agriculture, spirituality, anything that mainstream media is not going to cover. We're going to cover it for you. We're We're going to add a little dabble of some culture and some music in there. Make sure that you feel good. Make sure that you feel heard and represented. That's what information is all about. Making sure that you learn something too. Making sure that you feel empowered to speak your mind. I felt called on this path to really do that. And a lot of people ask, where does the Leon Block come from? What is the Leon Block? Well, you got part of it. It's the information. It's providing you with news. It's providing you with the stuff that mainstream media won't. But the name, the Leon Block, right, came from my grandfather. His name was Jimmy Tolan, and his middle name is Leon. So I took his middle name. I like his middle name, and it's the heart of his name. It's the core of who he is and what he stood for. And he stood for everything from civil rights to union labor and fighting for their rights, social justice, human rights, like all of it. He also ran his own small business that catered to young black kids, especially black men, to make sure that they stayed off the streets and that they had somewhere to go after school to do their homework. You know what I mean? And as a young kid, I really paid attention to this and soaked it all up and watched the stuff that he did, from being a community leader and starting his own community organization to help bring people together and provide resources for folk, to being a mental health advocate and helping take care of people and always lending a helping hand to anyone in need. Like, he stood for a lot. He did a lot in the social justice movement in the 1960s. This dude like never stopped till his dying day, you know what I mean? And I was proud that he got to see me launch the platform and see me do my thing and reminded him of who he is and what he stood for. And unfortunately, he passed away in August, but through the 2000s, he made this toy called the Jimmy Block, which was a 3D wooden puzzle piece that kids today don't want to play with. He shopped around to all kinds of, you know, toy places. They don't want to fuck with that shit. No one wanted to buy that shit. But he still persevered. He still kept it as an idea. He didn't let that shit go to waste in his head, you know? And I think combining those two ideas, what Leon stands for, the core of that, the heart of that, and what the block stands for in innovation and creativity, and combining that, I think is what innovation and information stand for. When you have that together, it's powerful, it's unstoppable. And that is something that is at our disposal if we want to utilize it. We have a mouth, we have a voice. Utilize that mouthpiece. And if you feel like you can't do it yourself, the Leon Block will do it for you. All we need is your voice. Speak your mind. You know what I mean? That's what we're here for. So I just wanted to give you a little tidbit on what the Leon Block really is, what it stands for, where it comes from, the origins, you know what I mean? Because you gotta, in order to know where you're going, you gotta know where you came from. You gotta know what you stand for, right? That's right. So we're gonna get into some block drops, because that's what I'm here for, ain't it? Always down for the block drops, always down to give the information. And I should actually go ahead and start posting the links to the comments like I always do. Y'all, I can't believe, I really can't believe that it's been a year. And this is only the beginning. This is the first night we streaming live, not only from Wave Crave Radio, but on multiple platforms. So in my opinion, we already doing big things. We're doing pretty good, you know what I mean? So there is one story that I know I've been touching a lot on Rittenhouse, and I told y'all I wanted to spend a day or two to really emphasize how important it is for us black and brown folk to really take a load off and not ignore this. We got to acknowledge it, but do something else. Go out and have a fucking drink. Go to the spa, like meditate. Go hang out in the woods. Whatever it is that calms your soul for a bit, go do that, because we're used to all this shit, right? We're used to all of this stuff happening. It's been happening since they brought us over from Africa. You know what I mean? And the atrocities have came. They've been coming. Doesn't matter what laws are quote unquote progressing. The atrocities are still coming, and we're still seeing it play out on live TV, like we just saw with this case. So, therefore, things still have to be talked about. Things still have to be worked through, and that means that there's still things to decipher. I'm here to always have those discussions. There's been a lot of protests nationwide about the Rittenhouse verdict. Celebrities have been giving their 2 cents, putting their 2 cents in about stuff. It's, yo, this is going to amp. This is going to escalate. And I want to know what your thoughts are on this, for real, because some people are really angry. It's okay to also be scared. It's okay to also want revenge. Whatever your feelings are, they're valid. I mean, we just saw a judge really cater to and consider someone that we literally saw on TV murder someone and give them a free pass. So honestly, feel however you feel, fam. Feel however you feel and say whatever is on your mind. When it comes to this verdict, there's mofos driving around with "Congratulations, Kyle" on the back of their Jeeps. So as far as I'm concerned, whatever makes you heal, it makes you feel a little better. You know what I mean? To go about your day and cope with this atrocity, with this travesty, you do that. Because in any other circumstance, the kind of stuff that Black people especially have been put through, look, give us a break. We ain't gonna get no break from them, but we need to make that break. You feel me? All right now. So I wanted to calm your nerves a little bit, because gun owners of America are awarding Rittenhouse with AR-15 guns similar to the weapon used in fatal shootings. No, I'm not kidding you. Verdict exposes partisan divides on gun rights and permissiveness of lethal self-defense claims. And so a gun rights organization is awarding him with AR-15 style rifles. I can't believe this shit. Like, on one hand, I can't believe it, but for real, the amount of fuckery that's been going on lately surrounding this, my jaw continues to drop, and I continue to be surprised, actually, with some of the things that I'm hearing. Some of the things. Now, the verdict, of course, the verdict is no surprise. But and Matt Gaetz actually offered Rittenhouse an internship. Yeah. So I mean, you know, the likes of like Tommy Lauren and Candace Owens and motherfuckers like that, Kyle Rittenhouse might be right along with them. And as other people are saying, he has a promising career. Yeah, I'm not joking, y'all. This is the kind of shit that we have to hear and listen to. Unfortunately, you can tune it out. if you want, but it's there. So they said, join us in saying thank you to Kyle Rittenhouse for being a warrior for gun owners and self-defense rights across the country. In my head, it's saying thank you, Kyle, to killing all the black people and black sympathizers around the country. That's what I get out of that. I don't know. The verdict has exposed deep partisan divides on issues related to the Second Amendment and whether it's inappropriate for a teenager with a high-powered rifle to insert himself into a volatile scene stemming from racial justice protests. It's crazy. It's just nuts. It's just nuts, y'all. So, Vietnamese workers plead for help at a Chinese factory in Serbia, where they are subject to harsh working conditions, reports say. Definitely check that article out. I posted it in the comments. Family separated at southern border reacts to the possibility of government payouts. You definitely want to check that shit out. It's in the comments as well. And Reverend Jesse Jackson. Reverend Jesse Jackson. Whew, that was a tongue twister for me. Is going to lead a protest in Kenosha in response to the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict. The march, I guess is coming a day after hundreds of people shut down some streets in Chicago. Like I said, there's been protests going on around the whole nation. There wasn't one locally where I am, but I'm sure there will be at some point, most likely, depending on how the McMichael and Brian trial comes out. The killers of Ahmaud Arbery. Yeah. Make sure you're liking, following, subscribing. It's really appreciated, y'all. Yo, Kyle Rittenhouse says he's not a racist person. Why? Because you killed white people? Because you killed white people. WXY people. For real? Yo, Rittenhouse. You a racist, bro. I don't know how else to put this, but you are, in fact, a racist. Yo, this photo I'm looking at of him is just pathetic. So, as we know, Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted of all charges against him in his homicide trial on Friday. In an interview with Fox News' Tucker Carlson, y'all know that mofo. So you can't really take all this too serious, but he said he wasn't a racist and supported Black Lives Matter. You support Black Lives Matter, but yet you came there for what? I'm really confused here. Someone tell me. Does he understand what racism is? Somebody tell me what racism is, please. Yeah. This is crazy. He said this case has nothing to do with race. It never had anything to do with race. It had to do with the right to self-defense, Rittenhouse said. I'm not a racist person. I support the BLM movement. I support peacefully demonstrating. Wow. Wowza. Okay. He says still that he was attacked and he couldn't breathe. Wow. So Rittenhouse's full interview with Tucker Carlson is expected to air on Monday, And a documentary on the case is slated to debut next month. Wow. Y'all gonna watch that shit? I think I'll watch it just for context, you know. And if anything, fill y'all in on what's going on with that. Just so y'all don't have to watch it yourselves. It's hard out here. I feel like I gotta protect y'all sometimes, you know? I feel like we all have a part to play in this world and a part to play in this movement when it comes to civil rights and social justice and human rights and things like that. And my part to play is, for one, providing the information and providing a mouthpiece. But for two, like making sure y'all are right. You know, sometimes we gotta shield each other from the stuff that's out there, but other times it's important for us to know about it. You know? So Black Friday, the largest boycott planned by independent retailers. What? This Friday, independent retailers across the country will shut down their websites, donate their profits to charity, and plant trees as part of a renewed drive against the rabid consumerism encouraged by large online sellers offering deals for Black Friday. And you know what? I'm tired of these big ass corporate retailers. I'm tired of them getting folks' hard earned cash that they slaved away for these corporations to begin with, and then they want that money back. No, fuck you. It's time to give back to small business. It's time to support Black-owned business, brown-owned business. It's time to support your fellow neighbor and their lives and their livelihoods. Can we do that? Can we start this Christmas season? I do not celebrate Christmas. I'm not celebrating Thanksgiving, but I will support people showing up for one another and giving love. That is what's important. So this Friday, independent retailers across the country will shut down their websites, donate their profits to charity, and plant trees. That's crazy. That is crazy. How is this going to happen? Well, about 85% of independent retailers will not participate this year's Black Friday. Today, sellers claim to offer bargains and slash prices in an attempt to shore up custom before Christmas. The number of retailers boycotting the event is the highest figure ever recorded and comes as part of a growing movement against huge online shopping websites such as Amazon that has gained traction since the start of the pandemic. It's impossible for small businesses to compete with large retailers on Black Friday. And small businesses tend to keep their prices fair all year round, and therefore they can't afford to discount heavily just before the busiest time of the year. Other independent retailers such as Surrey-based Shutter Jewelry and secondhand children's and maternity clothes retailer Build a Bundle will plant trees on Friday as an antidote to the waste created by consumerism. I fuck with it. And then a sustainable underwear brand planned to switch off their website. Pretty cool, pretty cool. There's another jeweler website releasing a video on Friday how to give tips on how to repair jewelry on their website. So as the anti-Black Friday movement moves and grows in popularity, many shoppers are not only turning back to their local high streets and markets, but are increasingly looking online for ways to shop locally. And I think, honestly, personally, the main reason and drive behind this is the fact that our supply chain here in America is really fucked up, and people have become very scared and fearful that their gifts won't get to their loved ones in time, yada, yada, yada. They're panicked. So now that capitalism is fucking them, they seem to want to go the route of small business, which they should have been going all along. Let's hope and pray and make sure, I should say, that this doesn't just be a one-off and this just happens this year. Let's let it not just be a fad either. Let's make sure that this is something that we set as a precedent because of the pandemic and because of the fragile supply chain and technology and us not wanting to completely rely on it, you know? It's important, y'all. Yo. Wowza. So I got more. One second. Do I have some technical difficulties here? What about now? Let me see here because awesome. So I want to let y'all know real quick. It again is the year anniversary of the Leon Block, and the Leon Block is growing. It's growing organically though. It's a day by day kind of thing, and there's always going to be some mishaps. There's always going to be some technical difficulties on my end, but you know what? We're going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. That's what I do. That is what I do. So, Wave Crave Radio, thank you for rocking with me. I welcome you to the Leon Block. My name is John Tell, your kinfolk with the info. I stream. I'm actually streaming right now to other platforms as well, so you can find me anywhere. But you are listening to me on Wave Crave Radio live. All right, yo. Sorry about that little mishap. We got the block drops going on. So, like I said, I was talking about the supply chain and how that has an effect on consumerism, and people all of a sudden now want to jump on this bandwagon of being small business supporters. But remember that you should be supporting small businesses year motherfucking round. They cannot give the deals that your big name monopolizing businesses can give. All right, be mindful of that. Support them anyway, all the time anyway. Let's make it a habit of setting a new precedent because of the pandemic, because of consumerism and capitalism and this fucking supply chain. Make it a habit to set a new precedent, to go around a corner and shop at your local business instead of driving outside of your town or outside of your city to go to Walmart. Like, I know. It's like they have, yeah, I know. But try and make it a habit. A little bit by bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's important. I think it really is. So, Tamir Rice. Remember Tamir Rice? Tamir Rice and Marissa Alexander deserved the Rittenhouse treatment. Yeah. This, well, he was cool. He was 17 when he did this. You know what I mean? Armed with the semi-automatic rifle. But now he's 18, and he lives to talk about this, mind you. And that's a lot of airtime and a lot of money that comes with that. By the way, wink, wink. I know what you know what I mean. He was already on Tucker Carlson talking about how he's not racist. Come on now. I wonder how much the Tucker Carlson show paid him for that interview. Come on. And think about how much advertisement came from that, how much the Tucker Carlson show is getting paid from that. Come on, think about it. And he's found not guilty. He's walking free, getting all kinds of deals. Like we just said, the Gun Ownership Association of America, the Gun Owners of America, awarded Rittenhouse an AR-15 similar to the weapon used in the fatal shootings. But yet Tamir Rice, a black 12-year-old playing with a toy gun, is essentially given a death penalty by being fatally shot by a police officer. And he wasn't guilty. So why is he dead? Yeah. Who gets the benefit of being seen as a tender child? The latitude to use poor judgment, the privilege of not being a perfect parent, or the right to defend oneself. Why was Rittenhouse's weeping on the stand seen as a scared and vulnerable youth? Mind you, he was 18 at the time. While Rice amusing himself with a plaything led him to being misidentified as an adult and treated as a threat. Deciding that you, as a teenager, should arm yourself with an AR-15 style gun and attend a volatile protest to protect private property is foolish. So is playing with a toy gun? But for whom is foolishness fatal? And who gets to make dangerous mistakes and mature beyond them? What were Rice's parents doing letting him play with a toy gun? Well, what were Rittenhouse's parents doing letting him arm himself and venture out in search of trouble with a real one? And should either boy have paid with their lives or their deaths for it? After the shootings, Rittenhouse approached the police with his hands up as bystanders shouted of his deeds, but the police didn't apprehend him. He literally couldn't get arrested. And yet when 911 was called on Rice by someone who said Rice was probably a minor and the gun was probably fake, the police literally shot him in 2 seconds upon arriving on the scene. Rice couldn't get arrested either. The boy who hadn't killed anyone was put to death, and the boy who killed 2 people was allowed to live. The black preteen who hadn't killed anyone was so threatening he had to be shot on sight, and the white teen who killed 2 people was so unthreatening he was allowed out on bail. Some have said that the Rittenhouse case was white supremacy on trial, and that comment, however, is inappropriate. Concepts are never and should never be put on trial. Individuals are. People are not proxies for their actual or assumed worldviews, and however odious one might find a given individual, he or she should be found not guilty if his or her alleged crimes cannot be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Rittenhouse deserved to be tried as an individual, to be treated like an individual, and Rice deserved to be treated like Rittenhouse. So did Marissa Alexander, a black woman. Didn't cross state lines looking for trouble. It found her. And per her testimony, after fleeing her abusive, estranged husband, after he broke through a locked door and shoved her to the floor, she fired a warning shot at him. Nobody was hurt. And yet she was sentenced to 20 years. And after a court-ordered new trial, Alexander took a plea deal. She is still legally guilty, and though released from prison, she had to spend 2 years on house arrest. Prosecutors said Alexander's firing of the gun didn't count as a warning shot because the bullet went into a wall instead of the ceiling, as opposed to Rittenhouse's bullets, which went into bodies. The jury deliberated over Rittenhouse's verdict for 3.5 days. Alexander's jury sentenced her in 12 fucking minutes. Why wasn't her future worthy of the same consideration and care? Why were her deeds considered worse when his were the ones that were deadly? This ain't just about color. It ain't about gender. The things Rittenhouse got, the presumption of innocence, due process, resources for a robust defense, grace for one's grave errors, reverence for his life, respect for his dignity, consideration of his youth, recognition of his vulnerability, careful deliberation over his future, and empathy are the things everyone should get. Right now, Some are asking if Rittenhouse got justice. My question is, will people who aren't white and male get what Rittenhouse got? Hmm. Yo, for real? I feel like in some ways we got set back 20, 30 years with this case. Unless we continue to speak up against this shit and say, like, what the fuck? What, yo, like, all right, we're gonna change some shit right the fuck now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to change now. And how I personally feel it has to change: local, grassroots. This judge, we watched something go down that happened locally, and a local judge and a local jury get to decide the fate of this kid, of this young adult. And a lot of power is held locally that we just relinquish away when we pay these people to do these horrible things that they do, and they get away with it because we let them. So it's important to acknowledge that and know that you have a lot more power than you think you actually do. Now, I did want to talk about the supply chain a little more. But first, if y'all didn't know, like I said, we are streaming live from Wave Crave Radio. I'm really excited about this, y'all. Wave Crave Radio was the hottest urban wave in the 717, playing everything from hip hop, R&B, soul, gospel, you name it, they got it. Interviews, and we're gonna keep this thing going. I'm also streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can catch all of my episodes on YouTube, all the podcasts on YouTube, interviews, you name it, it is there. But Leon Block is also on Instagram and TikTok too. We got a good thing going on Instagram, always on there posting shit. The TikTok, look, we getting there, all right. Just keep up with us, but make sure you following us on all platforms and showing us love and sharing, spreading that love. You know what I mean? Really appreciate it. So the U.S. food supply chain relies heavily on foreign workers, and now those industries are suffering the worst labor shortages. If immigration maintained its 2016 levels, the U.S. would have 2 million more people today. Yeah. Food-related industries historically rely on low-wage immigrant labor and are now facing shortages. The labor pool is also shrinking as foreign-born workers seek opportunities in other industries. So, my question is, what implications does that have on everything? You know what I mean? Well, a lot. Y'all just ain't really feeling the effects yet, or y'all just ain't paying attention to the effects. Because honestly, I went to Sheetz yesterday, a local grocery store with tons of food, like convenience store, everything there. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted a sourdough home-style chicken sandwich with fried pickles and some French fries, lettuce, tomato, barbecue sauce, mayo. Like, I like it. I like all that. But what had happened was, I get to the register. Well, first off, when I went to the touch screen to order, it did say that due to the supply chain, we may be out of a couple of things. But, you know, the average American, I'm swiping that away and not paying attention to what the hell it said. I just want my food. I get to the register and he's like, oh, we don't actually have the fried pickles. Would you like something else? And da, da, da. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. I did see it on the screen. Can I get regular pickles instead? So then I get to get my food and I'm like, oh, shit. They said the fryer's down. The fryer's probably down because they don't have fryer oil because it probably didn't come. supply chain issues. So then it clicked in my head, oh, yeah, this is the implications of the supply chain that they've been warning you about for weeks, right? So I didn't get my fries. I had to go back to the register and get a refund because I couldn't get fries. I wanted my fries. Like, I can't have a sandwich without the fries. Mind you, I had to get a grilled chicken patty instead of the home style, which is fried. And the whole sandwich just ain't taste right. It wasn't the wave, y'all. I wasn't feeling it. So my thing is, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to come about in the next few months that especially average Americans are not going to like, and they're going to be in for a rude awakening. And I think the effects are just starting to be felt. I don't think we've even gotten to the height of what this will get to. So I'm just telling y'all to be prepared now, and know that you may get back. We may get knocked back a few years. I'm just saying. All right. I'm just saying. Just be aware. And you know what? It's probably best. I'm not trying to make everyone rush to the store now, but it's probably best that you stock up on what you can now. For real. Just saying. With Thanksgiving less than a week away, y'all, inflation, because we keep hearing about inflation. Look, I'm not a fan of mainstream media. I'm not here to promote it, but however, I do shadow them, so I know what the hell they're talking about and what kind of narrative they be trying to play. You know what I mean? I am anti-mainstream media. I will be very forward with that. But you got to know what they're talking about. They've been talking about inflation a lot, which talking about inflation is going to scare people, which is going to drive inflation even more. But whatever. With Thanksgiving less than a week away, inflation continues to make headlines for driving up food prices, both at grocery stores and in restaurants. And a major factor behind those increases is the cost of labor, where company struggles to find and retain staff are having ripple effects from farm to table. Wink, wink. This is why I always stress and talk about self-sustainability and networking and sharing, and people having their own little garden at home and grow what you can and share it with people, and get your produce from local farms if you can. Get your meat from local farms if you can too. Like, seriously. Global supply chain problems are intrinsically tied to labor issues, but the U.S. food supply chain is facing a particular labor shortage that has deepened over the past 5 years. Foreign-born workers. Had U.S. immigration levels maintained their pre-2016 trajectory, the U.S. would have roughly 2 million more people today. Analysts at both J.P. Morgan and Grant Thornton are estimating. Let me see here real quick. I want to post a link. Give me 1 second. I want to remind y'all that guests are always welcome to the show. You can always ask to tune in, and I can always give you access, and you can always spit your shit, speak your mind, however you want to do it. But the Leon Block is your platform. It is yours to soar. It is yours to speak your truth and speak truth to power. That is what is important. And I really want to say that I appreciate the love. I appreciate the listening. Yo, it really means the world. And it's only a year, but I feel like the Leon Block is doing pretty good. The team's going to grow as the collective consciousness will grow. As people start waking up and realizing that they have more power than they think that they actually do. That's why you actually see a lot of these labor unions coming back in full force across America. You know what I mean? Yo, for real. Y'all can always come on this show and speak truth to power. And we will have a call-in number coming soon. So don't worry. There'll be a straight-up number. You could just call in and let us know how you feel. For real. This is fam. The Leon Block is your fam. And we will be here to uplift you. Like, that's what we're here for. To connect by means of meditating, liberating, educating, and celebrating your spirit. Uplifting you and liberating you to speak truth to power and realize the power that you have within, so that we can overcome the systems which within we were born within and operate within, that we know just ain't right. You know? Yo, shout out to Wave Crave Radio. For real, the opportunity is just immense. Shout out to all the listeners, for real. Now, yeah, I want to get into one last article before I start touching on, you know, my thoughts about a couple of things, all right? And I know I'm inundating the shit just like the mainstream media is with Kyle Rittenhouse, but like I said, there's a lot to dissect with this, and it has a lot of significance. And this article, like I said, all the articles are on the comments on Facebook and YouTube. You can check it out, follow the links, go to whatever article you actually want to read and check it up on your own. Please, by all means, do that. That is what I'm here for, to provide you with that information. But as Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted in 2 killings that he said were in self-defense, armed civilians patrolled the streets near the Wisconsin courthouse with guns in plain view. And in Georgia, testimony in the trial of Ahmaud Arbery's killers showed that armed patrols were commonplace in the neighborhood where Arbery, a 25-year-old black man, was chased down by 3 white men and shot. So the 2 proceedings sent startling new signals about the boundaries of self-defense as more guns emerged from homes amid political and racial tensions and the advance of laws that ease permitting requirements and expand the allowable use of force. So this is something we really need to think about, y'all. These rights are going to expand to not all of us, but basically just those folks. And you know what I mean by those folks. While other people are going to be seen to suffer. And the mainstream media is going to paint a certain picture. Don't let that fool you. You know what I'm saying? Continue to be resilient. Continue to be strong. And most importantly, continue to be smart. And also safe. And I just want to let y'all know, I love y'all. All right, for real, yo, it's 12:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the Leon Block, and we got about 10 minutes before we wrap up here. So, like I said, I'm going to let you know some of my thoughts about a couple of things and shout a couple people out. I got a Facebook friend, Jesse Weekbody, who is a follower of the Leon Block and represents always sharing posts. Shout out to you. I know it's your birthday now. You got a birthday that's shared with the Leon Block. Yo, that's love. So every year when we share the Leon Block's anniversary, you're going to be welcome to the parties. You're going to get VIP treatment, and we're going to shout you out every single birthday, yo, for real. And shout out to Litters Chooses Love, the organization that had, yesterday was the Transgender Remembrance, the Transgender Day of Remembrance, otherwise known as TDOL. And remember, this is important to remember, that us black people, we have to stand, all of us. If you're not standing for all black lives, you're not really standing for all black lives, if you feel me. And when it comes to specifically black trans women, they're the most murdered in our country, specifically among any demographic, the highest among any demographic. So it's important that, you know, we remember and we stand up and we show love. You know what I'm saying? And yesterday was a big event that was really beautiful. And so you can check that out on YouTube. I streamed it to all platforms, but the YouTube has extra footage. You can check it out there. Actually, the Facebook does too. So yeah, shout outs to Let Us Chooses Love, a local Lancaster County, Pennsylvania organization, a really rural based organization doing great things for the LGBTQIA plus community. Now, one last thing I want to get into to shout out is a dude by the name of Christopher J. Scarver. And if you don't know who he is, he might ring a bell because he's actually the man who killed Jeffrey Dahmer. Y'all know who Jeffrey Dahmer is, right? This is the black man who killed him behind bars. And the friend to the Leon Block, Athena Williams, who we will have on the show, interviewing her very soon. She is a restorative justice advocate, and she goes to prisons and interviews black men to get their stories about the things that they've been through and shed light on their stories because they're not heard. This is one of the things that the Leon Block is here for, right? So it's only right that we partner with someone who's amplifying black voices. Christopher Scarver was actually born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in '69. And over a period of 18 years, he earned his way out of solitary confinement where he was placed 20 years ago in 1994. And in 94, I believe that was where he, did the do when it came to Jeffrey Dahmer. So anyway, he has this book called The Child Left Behind, where it's a bunch of poems. So I want to read one of the poems. It's called Fallen Humanity. Subterranean Americans, society's psychonauts, descending into cells, into low-down spots, dropped into the unknown and far from home, where their connection to humanity comes through the male alone, falling like leaves from the trees in autumn, drifting through this life, they finally hit the bottom, without a bathysphere to protect them from the sharks, and no rehabilitation to illuminate the dark. They sit rotten and forgotten at the bottom of life, where government officials violate their rights. Wow. I want that poem to sit on you, let it marinate, really, really let it marinate, right? And be mindful of the black men sitting in prison that are not thought of, and just think about them for a moment, all right? I really would appreciate that. So it's important that we always respect one another, the ones that's here today, our peers, but it's also another thing to be mindful of our ancestors, our loved ones that have passed, and pay respect to them too. You know what I mean? Because they're always here, they're always around us, and they're the ones who brought us. They're the ones who brought us where we are today. I'm really mindful of that. Like I said, here on the Leon Block, we all about the spirituality. We are all about the culture. We're all about the activism, the protest, but we're also about the mental health too. We're also about the mental health too. As someone who does live with mental health issues, it is something that I really am stressing all the time, especially when it comes to being a black man. It's something that I really do put to the forefront of my activism and everything that I do, aside from with everything that I do with the platform and the podcasting, but aside from it too. You know what I'm saying? All of it's important. For real, all of it is important. So y'all, also, I just want to remind y'all listening to Wave Crave Radio, y'all listening to me stream on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, that you like, but most importantly, that you share. Hit that share button. You also, because it's our birthday, we would love a little gift. We would love to keep going and to keep going. It takes equipment. It takes having a team. You know what I mean? It takes doing a lot of things, editing wise and branding and a lot of things to make this what this is. And because it is the year anniversary, a donation goes a long way. You can hit us up on Cash App, the Leon Block. You can hit us up on Venmo, the Leon Block ING. And the links are in the comments. The links are at the bottom of the screen if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. And if you need to, make sure you follow us on all the platforms. And that way, you can find out a way to donate to us, because we always appreciate that love. For real, for real. I want to make sure that there is nothing that I did not miss, because I do always I always post a lot of motherfucking information and drop a lot of information on y'all in one drop. But that's me. That's my personality. That's who I am. But I always may not pack, a lot of information in there. Sometimes it's, just me spitting my shit, spitting my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I actually should come full circle and speak on that whole Biden thing, because he's old. I hope y'all don't think he's going to get elected a second term, and if he does, what we going to do? He's old. Do y'all really? Do y'all really think? I'm not being rude, and I'm just trying to be realistic. Like, he is 79, all right? So you got, all right, so 80, 81, 82, 83, I guess. And then if it's another term, 84, 85, 86, 87. So he'd be like 87. Is there, I don't keep up on presidential statistics or nothing, but, is that the oldest that we've had? We need to start getting them Obama age motherfuckers up in the office. I told you, I'm not a fan of presidents, because I think they're just puppets, and they can't really, excuse me. I was drinking soda earlier. They can't really do but so much. And I mean, you see how when they go in, they be all bright and shiny and smiling and everything, and by the time they come out of it, by the time they come out of this shit, they be grayed and wrinkles all over the place. Like, they just dead and decrepit and ready to just go to bed. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's important that we be mindful that these people that represent us shouldn't be, because the things that they're putting into policy and laws, they're not even around to see the fruits of that labor. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is just wrong. That's just wrong. You know what I mean? I can't with people. Yo, for real, it's been a pleasure. I'm about to get on up out of here. The Leon Block Wave Crave Radio live, coming at you Sunday through Friday, every Sunday through Friday, midnight to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can always catch us. All right. It's cold as hell where I am. I don't know where you at, but where you at, I really hope that it is sunny and shiny. But where we at here on the Leon Block, it's always a light inside within us. Okay? We always have that light shining from within. So I'm gonna leave you on that gem. And thank you for tuning into the Leon Block. Make sure you meditate on your path. Make sure you celebrate your being, liberate your spirit, and educate yourself. I'm John Tell. Arm yourself with knowledge and have a blessed journey. Leon.